The Holocaust was a very horrible and gruesome event in world history. Although it evolved into something very bad, the beginning of the Holocaust was not all about terminating the Jews and the Gypsies. Hitler wanted to end German democracy. At the same time as the election, there was a fire in the Reichstag building in Berlin, Germany. Hitler blamed the Reichstag building fire on a communist and told President Hindenburg that communists were attempting to take over the government. Hitler tempted President Hindenburg to pass an emergency decree to take away civil liberties so they could put an end to the communists who were trying to plot against the government. The government arrested many communists, which left all the seats in the political party empty. The Nazi Party's goal was to have the majority of seats in the parliament to pass the Enabling Act. The act went into effect March 27, 1933, and in result made Hitler dictator of Germany. After gaining power, Hitler didn't take extraordinary measures until later in his dictatorship. Hitler passed a law that stated that any bill only needed Hitler's signature and it would become law within 24 hours. This made it easy for him to change things for the country. Nazis were put in charge of all local government in the provinces. Eventually, trade unions were abolished, funds from them were taken, and the union's leaders were imprisoned. Later, he passed a law that made it illegal to form a new political party, making the Nazi Party the only legal political party in Germany. Although Jews were the majority mistreated in Germany, there were other groups of people that the Nazis targeted. The Nazis judged people by who they were, their genetic or cultural origins, and their health conditions. This includes Jews, Gypsies, Poles, Slavs, and people with mental and physical disabilities. Also, they judged people based on what they did. Homosexuals, communists, socialists, other political enemies. They blamed Jews for their economic depression and Germany's defeat in the First World War. Germans believed they were racially superior to all the races targeted in the Holocaust. The new laws that Hitler started passing kicked Jews out of civil service jobs, university, and law positions. Later laws were passed that made it illegal for Jews to attend public schools, go to theaters and resorts, and even made it illegal for them to walk in certain parts of the streets and sidewalks. 9 o'clock began to be their curfew, and they were forced into ghettos. They forced Jews out of their businesses and made them sell them. Many of the victims were forced to be sterilized so they could not reproduce their kind. Victims were forced into concentration camps and often separated from their families. I'm sure some of you are wondering why the Jewish people didn't resist. Many Jews didn't believe that the Nazi Party was unfair at the time. The Nazis guided them to believe that they were being migrated to better working conditions. Jews were undressed and entered gas chambers, believing that they were entering showers or disinfectant rooms. When they got to the point where they found out what was happening, they thought resistance was way out of reach. There are only 2 widely known uprisings in Holocaust history, and both ended badly: the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising and the Sobibor death camp resistance. The Holocaust was a horrible period of time, and it's good that we acknowledge ourselves on it so that history does not repeat itself.